So without further ado, I'm going to ask these gentlemen a few questions just to spark discussion, and we'll go from there. When entering new markets, most companies look for key markets, usually starting in the US, and then they move on to Europe, and they go to Asia, and then they consider other regions. So I'm going to ask these gentlemen if they could give us some comments on the following. Is this traditional approach still the most optimal? How about the BRICS? Should we be in the BRICS countries? How do companies balance the business opportunities to enter a given market with socioeconomic and political risks? How do we treat regions like the EMEA as a homogeneous region? Should we continue to do that? And entering a new market, do you go it alone or do you partner with other organizations? Atul, what do you think?
Well, I'll go through them very quickly. Should you be in emerging markets? Is it an optimal strategy? Well, people are already going to emerging markets. Look at Hollywood. Iron Man 3 was released in Asia first and here later. Asia is a bigger market. Depends on the product, depends on the service, it depends on your demographic. So, should you go? Yes, if your product has demand. I mean, there are a lot of French people here. I heard a lot of French being spoken earlier. And what is the biggest demand for French luxury goods? Where do you think it is? Do you think it's here in San Francisco, or do you think it's the Nouveau Riche? Exactly. So if you're French, and you make nice perfumes, and you prey on people's vanity, then you should certainly be in China. Then, let's say, having said that, BRICS doesn't make sense. BRICS is an anomaly. There's nothing in common between the BRICS. Russia is a mafia state. Oil and gas. It lives off energy. Should you be in Russia? Yes. For those billionaires who live in gated communities, absolutely. Again, French products will be great. And German high-end products will do great, but it's not a mass middle-class market. Should you be in India and China? Yeah, there's a new consumption class. Should you be in Brazil? Yeah, absolutely. And remember, Brazil is increasingly becoming the agricultural breadbasket of the world. So if you are an agricultural export, you're a manufacturing company in the Midwest, you damn bloody well make sure you're in Brazil, because that's where you'll get your sales, that's where you'll get your profits. So yes, of course it makes sense. Is EMEA, I don't even know what that means. It's some crap, some bullshit people came up in corporate headquarters. I mean, Africa is different to the Middle East, which is different to whatever, Europe. And I think it's just an administrative convenience. And as long as companies just use EMEA, they'll be beaten by the Chinese. Well, they are not just in the form of big state corporations, but there are chicken farmers in Zambia. There are people speaking not just Swahili, but Ndebele in Zimbabwe. And they are not looking at these EMEA. They are going there because they are treating it country by country. They are looking at opportunity by opportunity. And that's the way you succeed. So EMEA, to my mind, it's just, that's why I don't work in a corporate. I mean, it's too much bullshit. I mean, I just can't stand it. Distribution. Should you have distribution partners? It depends. Yes, you should. You should have if it makes strategic sense. So if you're a Mercedes and you want to distribute Mercedes throughout India, because in India, you arrive when you own a Mercedes. I mean, especially if you're a Punjabi and you wear a turban. Oi ji, I bought a new Mercedes. Oi, I'm doing very well. Oi, that's the mentality. That's classic Punjabi accent, Controversially, some people who like to disparage Punjabis, they like to say they have no culture except agriculture. That is actually a sign of envy because the Punjabis are quite entrepreneurial, although they are quite show-offs. But the point is, you're Mercedes, you want to go there, you can't build your distribution network, you better have a reputable partner, that is the Tatas. You certainly don't want a disreputable partner who will basically stab you in the back. So it depends. As with everything, you have to look at the opportunity, look at the cost and benefits, and make the most pragmatic choice. And beware of generalities and banalities, as the spiel in my CD, it's a lot of fluff. The cover is often misleading.
We want a lively discussion? We're giving lively discussion. Thank you, Atul. If you could identify one factor or one metric that has been key to the success of your global operations, your initiatives and efforts, what would that be? Can you share with us a little bit about what made it successful? Atul?
3 words, know your market. That's it. And Two examples there. Two quick examples. Volkswagen went into China as a raging success. Why? Because they went in first, they studied it deeply, they understood the Chinese market. Very hard now for others to catch up. Second example, Pepsi, which has an Indian CEO right now, Indra Nui, goes into India, competes with a small mom and pop shop that is expanding called Haldiram Bhujia. Anyone who's Indian here? And yeah, exactly. So what do you think of Haldiram Bhujia?
Well, I've been out for way too long, but no, I see your point.
Yeah, so the point is the quality was exceptional. They went into snack foods, but Haldiram was tailored around the Indian palate. It was a small shop which I grew up with, my grandmother grew up with. They beat Pepsi, gave them a bloody nose. Pepsi had the biggest film stars, the best cricket stars, huge marketing budget, but they forgot that the Indian palate, 5,000 years of history and 800 years of colonization meant that the Indians love only one thing, or three things: cinema, food, and cricket. And food is the most important. So